The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, 3.1, approval of tonight's agenda. Need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second, please. All those in favor? Opposed? Agenda approved. 3.2, action items for closed session. Need a motion to approve the closed session minutes from 12/19 of 19. Second, please.
Second.
Ashley?
Phipps,
Yes.
Vera,
Yes.
Maddox, Barry,
Yes.
Worley,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes. 4, communications. This is information only. Jim, you have an annual report for us?
Yes, sir. Good evening. I will make this brief.
Perfect.
In everybody's best interest, apparently. Okay. First, like generally speaking, we talk about buses a little bit. You can just see here our current bus fleet. You can see here our drivers. We've got 39 daily drivers, 160 routes, and 665 field trips last year, for just a little over 516,000 miles. Some of the board members weren't on here when we initially went through our process of leasing buses, but this is the final year of our 3-year lease for 8 school buses. So those will be going back at the end of the year.
Oh, okay. That was one of my questions. Okay.
And then are you leasing 8 more? Or
No, we have been in the process of purchasing buses for the last few years, and won't have a need to do anything. We've actually been replacing those. We've been buying 2 buses. I've been working with Charlotte, and we've been able to put money in the budget, so we've been able to buy those. And, if you recall, back when we leased, we had not purchased buses for a few years, and the lease was a short-term fix to a long-term problem. Well, we've been able to adjust to that and work on that, buy some buses every year. So even though we've traded a bus off here or there to keep the fleet about where we want it, we won't have to do anything special. You'll see later we're going to talk about buying 2 more buses again at the end of this year, but it will be right in line with what we've been doing. Currently, as I said, we have 47 school buses, 8 of them are leased. We still have 2 of the old 8-passenger vans. One we run our mail in every day. The other one was one that we had earmarked to sell and haven't been able to sell it. We did purchase 10 of the new 10-passenger vans last year to replace those. And part of that had to do with not having those vehicles under the transportation fund because it required us to claim some mileage. So with Charlotte's help and the board's help, we were able to make a switch and fund those out of a fund other than the transportation fund, which allows us to save on non-reimbursable miles. I'll show you that shortly, but I just wanted to point that out. We've still got 3 of our passenger cars that we use for district staff to go to conferences and so on. And we currently have 1 white activity bus. This is just sort of value of what we have currently, what the anticipated value is. I usually try to show that so we have an idea of what our fleet valuation is. That changes every year, of course. used to provide a whole host of graphs, but I have a few left here, just a couple, just to show you quickly sort of where we're at. Obviously, this is our largest expense in transportation, is our salaries. And you can see that that's dwindled over the years, and that's really a result of having fewer drivers. That's essentially what that is. This is the total transportation expenses. This comes directly off the claim that we file every year with the state. You can see from 2012 to 18-19, it's about a $500,000 reduction. It's not so much, I'd like to take credit that that's all of my doing, but that's really a fact that the state keeps funding us less and less, and we have less to work with. We have fewer drivers, and we're just working with less money. Here's the point I was making about the vans. Those vans, when we travel, utilizing those vans, those miles all have to be considered non-reimbursable miles. We had about 100,000 miles the year before in non-reimbursable miles. That reflected about a 20% of our overall miles, and when we file our state claim, they use that number and extrapolate it across all lines, so every dollar we spend gets hit 20% right off the top. By reducing that, our state claim dollars go up. So we were able to reduce our non-reimbursable miles from 70,000 to 49,000, so about 21,000. Each mile, cost per mile is about $3.58. So there's about a $77,000 savings just by finding a different way to fund the purchase of those vehicles. In addition to that, in selling the other vehicles, we spent about $125,000 between what we gained by selling the old vehicles and what we're saving here. We're already at a break-even point this year. So every year going forward, we're going to be in the $70,000 to $80,000 savings for what we can gain on our claim. This is information that I provided for the last several years, just by category, what our non-reimbursable trips are, the different activities that our students participate in. I think we skipped a slide here. Yeah, this is the high school. This just shows all of the activities from athletics to also scholastic bowl and dance, tennis, show choir, everything that we transport. This is all of our non-reimbursable trips. And this is just a mileage chart. Pretty consistent from year to year. That's the high school, and then this is the middle school. It seems ironic, cross country has about 6 or 7 beats that we transport to every year, but they have so many students that every trip we're taking at least 2 buses. So what would normally be half as many miles is really ends up being the most. So
That's okay, they had a great year.
not to mention that they go through the postseason and end up going to the state finals and
Right.
and winning. So
Yep.
really last year's accomplishments, with the efforts of a lot of people, they were able to alter the pre-K registration process, and for years that has been a nightmare because we end up registering right before school and trying to get them on buses. And they're all individual home pickups and drop-offs, and so the routing process is very challenging. They were able to move that forward, and life was great in transportation at the beginning of school. We also, with Josh Mulvaney's help, were able to come up with a creative method between Skyward and TransFinder to create a new ID so we would know whether a student was a morning student or an afternoon student, which from a routing perspective was huge. And plus the routes that we had generated last year, by a lot of accounts, and including mine, I've been here 20 years now, it's probably the best start to school that we've ever had. So I appreciate everybody's help on that. A new district-wide vendor for really formats and mops and kits and stuff. We were with a vendor that we've had for probably for 20 years, at least 20 years since I've been here. Should see a substantial savings there. We installed a new security system at the bus garage, utilizing cameras now rather than a black light system, and that's been tremendous. It's helped us in a lot of different ways, but that system we had there was over 20 years old. This is just a couple of quick pictures of the cameras that we have at the bus garage, and it's just amazing the things that we're able to utilize that for. So no year goes by without challenges. As always, attraction and retention of bus drivers and monitors, that's always a challenge. There's going to be some new federal regulations coming into place in February. It's going to add an additional approximately 40 hours to training for our bus drivers. Scheduled to take place February 7th. The part that we were going to have to do up front to get ready, the feds didn't get it ready, so they postponed it another 2 years, but we still have to do this for our drivers. Other thing on the bus monitors is I've been working with HR trying to develop some additional job opportunities for our monitors and our cafeteria people and our playground people so that they can combine jobs and end up with full-time jobs as opposed to trying to work a 3-hour here or a 4-hour here. We're trying to attract people by being able to offer full-time jobs, even if it's within several different areas. So Chad and I met with Angelina and Ashley a couple weeks ago to try to develop some ways that we can feed off of each other and utilize some of the same staff. Growth, not been as much of a problem. Some of the growth areas are still combined in the same general areas that they have been, so we're not seeing a lot of new areas that are causing us routing issues. And always providing, doing our best to try to provide safe transportation. Key things coming up, as we've always done, we'll do our mechanic bids, mechanic supplies, our bus driver physicals, and then 2 new school buses this year, and we're going to be looking to also add to our white activity bus. We've got the one. It's a 2007 with about 95,000 miles on it. We use it a lot. And between that and our new vans, we're finding that those are utilized a lot, and at the end of the day, it's going to save us money because those are a lot more efficient to transport after-school functions in than school buses, especially when we have small groups. So, and really, that's sort of the quick summary. Maybe a record pace for me. So,
Sweet. The graphics were amazing, Jim.
Well, felt like you were there.
Well, you got seasick watching it for a while, so you can blame Josh for that. Based on that, so.
What are the criteria governing whether a trip is reimbursable versus non-reimbursable, or is it just that any extracurricular activity is non-reimbursable?
All co-curricular activities are non-reimbursable, regardless of when they are. Essentially, if it's any type of contest, so whether it's a speech contest, an athletic contest, a band contest, it makes no difference. Weekend trips, regardless of what kind it is, if it's not held during the school day, so if it leaves before school starts or gets back after the school day gets out, that would be considered non-reimbursable.
So it's not tied to the type of vehicle, it's tied to the activity.
Correct. If the vehicle is not funded, like the bands are not funded out of transportation fund, then those miles, we do not have to count them. That's not considered a transportation vehicle.
Okay,
Which is
maybe that's
why-
where I got a little.
Yeah, which is why we were able to alter where we purchased those vans from and save ourselves money in the long run.
Any other questions or comments for Jim?
Just a quick question. Okay, so, basically, I need to, congratulate Brandon and his foresightiness, because years and years ago, you said, maybe we should consider leasing buses, which has helped in this interim period. But my question is, so you're purchasing 2 new buses at the end of this school year or whenever?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then, does that hold us over for a while, or are you then planning to purchase another 2 for the,
We have
2021?
purchased 2 buses for the last 3 years.
Right,
So we will go ahead and buy more buses next year, sort of similar
Okay,
timeframe.
okay.
So that,
that's what I needed to know.
working with Charlotte, we anticipated, most likely, every year it's subject to a lot of factors, but we would anticipate that would be a
Right, okay.
common theme going forward. So no, we wouldn't anticipate doing anything different.
All right, further questions? Thanks, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 4.2, opportunity for visitors to address the school board concerning any agenda topic. Well, remind everyone, we have an open topic at the end for any topic, but this section is for agenda topics. Seeing none, consent agenda items. Does any board member wish to pull any? All right, need a motion to approve 5.1 through 5.8. Ashley?
Bryant?
Yes.
Worley? Yes. Barry?
Yes.
Maddox?
Yes.
Delarose?
Yes.
Phipps?
Yes.
And Burr?
Yes. Section 6, personnel consent items. Anyone wish to pull any of these? Need a motion to approve 6.1 through 6.26.
So moved.
Second.
Ashley?
Barry?
Yes.
Worley? Yes. Maddox?
Yes.
Bryant?
Yes.
Phipps?
Yes.
Delarose?
Yes.
And Burr?
Yes. 7, new business. GIS course handbook.
I'll go ahead and step in for Elizabeth, who is going to be in a tag game. And you know, I'm a little competitive, so I think I'm going to get you tonight. I'm kind of messing with the same. Tonight we have the GIS course handbook before you for approval. And there are no changes, which is why it was not on last month's agenda. So it is identical to last year's, and we ask your approval to move forward and begin the registration process.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Ashley?
Maddox?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Delarose?
Yes.
Phipps?
Yes.
Bryant?
Yes.
Worley? Yes. And Burr?
Yes. All right, 7.2, school calendars. Actually, I apologize for this. I'm going to separate the 2021 vote from the 21-22 vote. So, item 7.2A, need a motion to approve the 2021 school calendar.
So moved.
Needs- Ashley?
Phipps?
Yes.
Maddox?
Yes.
Delarose?
Yes.
Worley? Yes. Barry?
Yes.
Bryant?
Yes.
Yes. 7.2B, motion to approve the 21-22 school calendar.
I have a comment on that, Mr. President.
Yep.
So, we approved the current year, school year's schedule last April, and that was the first time that we had the early dismissal on Wednesday. said at that time that, in my opinion, the continuation of the early dismissal should be at least dependent on some, demonstrated improvements and benefits. And so far, I wouldn't expect us to see those yet because we're only one semester into the early dismissal, but I haven't seen those. I hope to see, demonstration of that by next year, so that's why I approved the school schedule for next year, which also includes the early dismissal for Wednesday. But I think it's premature to go ahead and approve the schedule for 21 and 22 without seeing some demonstration of those improvements and benefits. And so, for that reason, I'm going to abstain to the vote of the 21-22 school year calendar.
Any further comment or discussion?
Is there any detrimental effect to leaving the calendar as planned, so all the work's been done, but that we hold off actually approving it until we see some improvement? Or some demonstrated improvement?
Real quick, and I'll let Jen jump in. The Wednesdays in question, students will still be in school on Wednesdays, and you know what I mean? So I think if there was a need to amend the release date, not saying there will be or there won't be, but that would still potentially be an option, or is that incorrect?
Well, just like we changed it for this year, we did that in May, we went ahead, and all of what you're talking about is adjusting the length of the school
Right.
day.
Okay.
If you're still in session that day, and I think we get a lot of questions throughout the year from families as to future calendars because they want to plan their vacations and they want to do that around time when school is not in session. So that is why our team felt it was very necessary to move forward with 2 years versus 1 year. And I do have one more comment since I'm up here. I just want to be very clear. We've talked about clarity all year with our teachers. I want to make it very clear. The change that we are asking our teachers to do and the work that is being done will take time. When you want growth, it is a 3 to 5 year process. I just want to be very clear with you. I don't know that you're going to see the scores that you want to see in 2 years because they are in the trenches, working hard, having very difficult conversations, opening up data, articulating curriculum that has not been done before. I am actually, tonight, was drafting an email to teachers asking them to volunteer to work after contractual hours to develop this curriculum because it is so critical that we need this. We don't have enough time in the day to get it done. So I just want to be very clear. I don't think you're going to see the scores in here that you're asking for. But they are working hard every single day, and every minute of every Wednesday is true collaboration.
Yeah, have we in the past, in one school year, approved calendars for 2 additional school years before?
We did. Our last time was a 2-year, and actually we changed it for this upcoming school year, even
Because
though
of
it was
the
board
early
approved.
dismissal.
So while you approve it now, just like Brandon said, you are basically approving the dates school is in session, the dates we are not in session, when parent-teacher conferences are, when our institute days are. The SIP days can be adjusted. They were adjusted for this year, even though it was board approved 2 years ago, because we eliminated 4 SIP days. We took them off the calendar. So again, what we're asking you tonight to do is to approve the days that school is in session. And I do respectfully hear you about the time because it's valuable, and we completely agree. We do not want to take time away from our students, but we 100% believe that the work that they are doing on Wednesdays is critical to every other minute that they spend with our students, and they need it.
It is. I mean, I'll just reiterate that. The work that's being done right now, the teacher, administration, the coach, it's, we are seeing, a true benefit. We're seeing some of those things. And I just want to reiterate, when you talk about change, shift and change, I'll go one up. When any organization, whether it's educational or corporate, you're looking at 3 to 5 minimum, you're looking at 5 to 7 long term. Those are the things we do anticipate we're going to see some areas of growth along the way. So from an academic standpoint and from a teacher time standpoint, that's one. The other one that we do get a lot of feedback from is our school community in terms of trying to get those calendars out ahead of time. They truly appreciate, for planning purposes, getting them out there. So it is twofold.
Okay. Need a motion to approve the 21-22 school calendar.
So moved.
Second?
Ashley?
Bryant?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Worley,
Yes.
Maddox,
Yes.
Phipps,
Stay.
Durage,
Yes.
and Brewer.
Yes. All right, 7.3, maintenance project grant. Charlotte?
The General Assembly has added monies to the State Board of Education's budget to fund the school maintenance project grant program. It's a 1-to-1 program, which means if they give us $50,000, we need to spend $50,000. And the projects are $50,000. It's a competitive bidding process. Part of the application process requires formal board approval for us to apply for this. Mike Dobbs would have been here to talk about it, but we had an issue at one of the facilities, so I'm stepping in for that. I do know that the project that he wants to fund with with these grant monies, if we get it, is the STEM Labs at GMS. And the project's gonna move forward whether we get the $50,000 grant money or not. We just wanna try to go out there and get these grant dollars, because if we can spend $50,000, that's $50,000 we've saved, and we can spend that someplace else in the district. Mike and I and Dr. would be working with the Graham and Hyde, who are the architects on this project, and they've actually been very successful in creating these applications for ISB to be funded. So I'm very hopeful that we would get that grant money if we make the application, but I need approval in order to apply for it.
Questions, comments? Need a motion to approve the maintenance project grant.
Second.
Ashley?
Bryant,
Yes.
Worley,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Maddox,
Yes.
Durage,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
and Brewer.
Yes. 7.4, this is information only. This is first reading of some press policies. I think Srini and Kyle, who have been willing to kind of take a hold of the policies, have some that they want to do a little further diving into.
Yeah, that's right. We've had some preliminary discussion, but we need to dive into a couple of them. So nothing to discuss tonight, but we might address that at the next board meeting.
Very good. Okay, 8, communications, future board meeting dates. I did want to make note of the April 29th meeting. That one deviates from our standard cycle of the 4th Thursday. There are 5 Thursdays in April. That is on the 5th Thursday. I'm sorry, Wednesday. It was Thursdays last year. I apologize. So all of those, I think, have been out there already, but I did want to make note of the April 29th. That is a change from what might have previously been sent out of April 22nd. Carrie, if that date does not work for you guys, please let us know. We'll figure something else out for our meeting.
Yep.
All right. 8.2, opportunity to address the school board concerning any topic. I would ask that you come to the podium, state your name, keep it to 5 minutes or less. Does anyone wish to address the board concerning any topic? All right. Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, please. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.